Hello and welcome back to Better Than Yesterday. My name is Michael Jans van Rensburg, and as always, I am joined by my good friend Daniel Hammond. Today, we're here to talk to you guys about how you can remain consistent and avoid burnout in your year to come. Daniel, how have you been doing so far, man?
I've been doing good, thanks, bro. As you guys can see, I'm back in Namibia. Michael is there in SA. We're not in the same location anymore, bro. So I must say I've been really busy, bro. I've been getting back to the gym. I've been doing tons of stuff at the house, being productive, reading a bit more. So it's good to be back. It's good to be able to take on this year now and get going with what I've planned, man. How have you been doing?
Glad to hear it, man. Yeah, like you say, unfortunately, no longer in the same location, but also been very well, man. Still on holiday from university, but starting to do some part-time work again now. And it is good to introduce some routine back into my days. As before that, I've just been like partying, like or not partying, but like just having fun the whole time, and sleeping late, all these kind of things. So it's good to actually get some routine back in the day for sure, man. But yeah, I think that's kind of brings us nicely into our topic of today, man. And speaking about, staying consistent, I think you can go into going into this new year, we're going to be starting university and work and everything soon. The holidays, is going to very shortly be coming to an end. So we've got to start thinking now about how we can, you know, structure our days and our time so that we don't burn out. I think that's something that you had an experience with last year here, man. So maybe tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so last year we had that sort of high and that excitement of going into a new year. We've just matriculated the year prior to last year, and we were just feeling we're going into this new chapter. We're going to be going to university, doing lots of things, bro. And yeah, so I must say I started the year off really well, mentally, physically. I was just on top of things, and then later on, it just got to a point where I started feeling that I'm super tired and that I don't want to be as much social anymore. And that's because I was taking on too much stuff. I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. And I just wasn't saying no when people asked me to do something or when I saw an opportunity arise. So yeah, so I definitely want to just get into that point of saying that this year I've learned or I'm going to do things a bit differently because of how I experienced last year and what I had to go through with that sort of burnout where I made tons of progress in the beginning of the year, but to the end of the year, I just made less and less progress. And even physically, my body started going down because I wasn't going to the gym anymore because I was
Yeah.
exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally. I was just drained because I was, like I said, trying to take on too much stuff. So, yeah, to get into this point, a practical way which you can avoid this, because it's something that I've learned, is that you have to set boundaries. So by that I mean that you have to choose what you're going to focus on and what you're going to
Good,
take
man.
on. For example, what or not even an example, this is literally what I'm going to do this year or just like this season, this first few months. I'm going to focus on our YouTube channel Better Than Yesterday. I'm going to focus on going to the gym, and then obviously when university starts I'm going to focus on that. So that's three things, which I think is like the maximum, so you can have two or three. And by that, I think I'm not going to be taking on too much, and I'm going to be able to have enough energy reserved to do these three things to the best of my ability, because that's what we want. And then
Yeah, man.
later on, when I see I've progressed in that, I can maybe take on something else and then focus less on one of these three things. So yeah, that's my first point, bro. And yeah,
Super good.
so that's basically how I've experienced last year. And yeah, that was just a brief background on that, man. Yeah,
Good
so
stuff.
tell us what you've got going there.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to say, I think that's a very good point you make there, man, about focusing on only a few different things, and prioritizing like what's actually going to take up your time. But yeah, one of the things that I wanted to talk about in my experience of, burning out and how to avoid that, I think it's very important to take care of your sleeping schedule. I notice in a lot of people around me that their sleep schedule is not something that they take very seriously, and I think that contributes definitely to being unable to be consistent and eventually burning out. It's something that I prioritize quite a lot in my life, is getting at least around 7 to 8 hours of sleep a day, and I think that is achievable for most people. Like, I think the schedule that I set myself when I'm at university is I go to bed at midnight and then I'll wake up at 7 the next morning. So yeah, and that gives you 7 hours of sleep, and I think that's something that you can quite easily stick to each day. Maybe you can even get more in, depending on what your schedule is. But it's very important to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That just gives your body enough time to recover from all the hard work that you've been putting in, and it's also important for like your health. If your physical health isn't in a good spot while you're trying to do all this work, that's when you're gonna start to experience burnout, and you're not gonna be able to do all the things you need to do each day. So that 7 to 8 hours gives your body enough time to recover, and yeah, you'll just wake up in the morning and be able to go into the day like with giving yourself like the best chance possible going into that next day, man.
Yeah, man. So I definitely agree with that, having a fixed sleeping schedule. So what's another point that I'd like to get onto is exercise, bro. It's definitely good to have a daily exercise routine as well, whether it be going to the gym, doing home workouts, or just simply going for a walk, which is really good. It keeps your body healthy, and it's just a way of releasing stress that built up during the day. And strangely enough, going to the gym, doing going for a walk, it does take energy from you, but it's funny because it just adds energy to you as well. Like the next day, you'll
Yeah,
just feel more energized because you did some practice. And
sure, man.
yeah, that's also a way to stay healthy, man. Yeah.
Good stuff, bro. Yeah, I definitely agree, man. It is a funny thing, like you say. You would think it would take away from your energy, but I think it just gives you like a mental reset here, which is good stuff. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Second thing I want to talk about, that I think we're going on these kind of like prioritizing health things, but I think it's good to prioritize your health, and I think that's the thing that falls apart when you're overworking. And that's what disables you from being consistent. So yeah, second thing I want to talk about is your diet. I think you got to definitely watch as well, like what you're putting into your body. I went through a period last year as well where I try to start switching up the things that I was putting into my body. Definitely started eating more natural foods, and I noticed a big difference, in my energy, I think, and also just in the way that I felt. I felt a lot better after switching to eating a lot more natural foods, eating like more home cooked stuff instead of going out. A lot of times I think there's opportunities where you like driving home from work or something, and you can just go and pick up some takeaway, or you can actually like go home, make the effort of cooking up some like proper food. So I think it's important to like actually do that kind of thing, because the more natural foods you're eating, like the healthier your diet is going to be, and that's going to contribute to you having like a healthy body, which allows you to have more energy, man. And I think another thing that
Yeah.
goes into that as well is taking supplements. It's something that I was doing a lot of last year as well, which I noticed helped. So the things that I take, it's sort of like, extra vitamins that you take. You can buy them from any like pharmaceutical place near you. And I was taking vitamin D supplements, vitamin C as well, omega-3, and as well like iron, zinc. Those are another good ones to take. So yeah, these are just like extra supplements that you can add into your diet. It's a pill that you take in the morning after breakfast, and that kind of thing can also just add to, anything that you're missing from your diet, from maybe the foods that you are getting usually. Those will just add extra things, and they help with your brain being able to like get revitalized, and vitamin D as well and vitamin C. They're just good for boosting your immune system, stopping you from getting sick as well. So yeah, those are the things that I would definitely recommend, man.
Yeah, no, I love that, bro. And like you say, you should definitely make an effort of being intentional about
Yeah, man.
what you're putting into your body and these extra supplements, bro. So yeah, I've got another point here is you definitely need to reward yourself. You definitely need to, once you've reached a goal or ticked off something off the list, whether it
Mm,
be a daily thing or a goal after a month, reward yourself by doing something which you really like. Maybe it's binging a whole series for a day just because you've earned it, or it's going out with friends, spoiling yourself at a restaurant, going to a house party, whatever makes you happy and whatever
Yeah,
you like doing. So it's definitely good to reward yourself because then you'll keep going because it just helps you mentally to know that because I've done this good thing, getting rewarded for that. And
sure.
then the next time you'll just keep doing it because you're expecting positivity coming from doing something which is difficult, something which you don't necessarily want to do, but which is good for you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, amen. Definitely, bro. Yeah, you've got to reward yourself. That actually ties quite neatly into my point as well. I just wanted to say as well, like, yeah, you've got to give yourself credits, I think that's a big thing is like sometimes you're too hard on yourself, So yeah, like
Mhm.
give yourself credit where, when it's due, obviously. You can't just give yourself credit if you haven't been putting in the work. But if you have like spent a whole week, and you just finished up a project that your boss or your professor has been like, putting pressure on you to finish up and you get that done, yeah, like once you've achieved that, yeah, go and reward yourself and give yourself that credit, even if it's just a little pat on the back, I think yeah, you've got to acknowledge the times and the things that you do well, because yeah, that'll definitely, like you say, give you the if you struggle, if you fail to do that kind of thing, then you'll end up just being hard on yourself the whole time, and nothing will ever be good enough, and that's when burnout starts to happen, because you're just never getting any positive feelings. It's always just like negative and pushing down on you the whole time. So definitely, man, giving yourself credits and a little reward where you can, I think, is a very good practice to do, man. Is there anything else you wanted to
Yeah.
say further on that, man?
Yeah, so it's definitely good to emphasize rewarding yourself and giving the credibility. And that's why we keep saying it because it's something that's really good. So yeah, we definitely need to keep a schedule as well. That'll help you to not become inconsistent and avoiding a burnout. Because once
Mm,
you keep a schedule, just the same as a sleeping schedule, you get a daily schedule where you say, I've got this and this to do. I'm going to go to the gym at this time. I'm going to do some work at this certain period. So it's
good.
just good to be in that routine and have that sort of norm. So then you get your things done as fast, like you get your daily tasks done as fast as possible, and then you can, even in your schedule, you set a time where you disconnect, whether that be like having quiet time,
Mm,
journaling, just spending time with yourself, just to wind down and relax because you've done
sure.
what you needed to do for the day. That avoids and that helps you to recharge. Helps you to recharge your battery, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically. So that's something which is really important, bro. And that was actually the last points that I wanted to add. So yeah, you guys can see I'm in a different location right now, but I'm definitely going to set up my room and just have it looking a bit more neat and professional. So just be patient with me on that. But yeah,
No worries,
I'm
man.
gonna
Yeah,
give it to
beautiful
you to
points there,
wrap
man.
up, man. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, I think keeping a schedule is a great thing to do, man. And scheduling in that time to have a bit of downtime, wonderful stuff, bro. Last thing that I want to say actually as well, is have a friend that you can speak to. Final point that we're gonna make on avoiding burnouts and staying consistent is speak to a friend about it. I think that's in that period where Daniel and I perhaps experienced a bit of burnout last year and like a downtime in our productivity. We were speaking to each other the whole time through it, and I think having like a good friend that you can, relate to and rely on these kind of things is also something that'll help you through those periods, when you're starting to feel a bit burnt out, man. So yeah, great stuff, man. No worries about the background there, but we're definitely keen to have you back in your room. I don't know if you guys have noticed as well. I've just bought a new microphone, so let us know in the comments as well if you noticed any like change in audio. Daniel and I definitely plan to like invest further into ourselves and into better than yesterday. So yeah, we're always trying to keep improving, and yeah, we're always trying to do things to further, improve this channel. So excited, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely, if you did, leave a like and comment below. Consider subscribing, because we're going to be making weekly, if not more than weekly, content for you guys, posting on Instagram as well. So give us a follow there. But yeah, Daniel, thanks so much for the conversation, man. And we'll definitely see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, it was great. And thanks for taking your time out to listen to this and just get a bit more information on this topic that we had for today. Have a good one, Mike.
Yes,
Cheers.